Hello and welcome to the Minor Kamoni Enlightenment Show, a show in which we take enlightening excursions into current, contemporary, and pertinent topics in academics, culture, and life in general. We learn to use reason, sense, and understanding in order to achieve our goals and aspirations. In this way, we avoid turning out mediocre, thus missing out on opportunities. Today, I will review what needs to be done while attending a job interview and to do it successfully. Or, as the saying goes, you ace it, meaning that it is you who will get that job opportunity while others will be left out. In order to ace an interview, as it is, it requires thorough preparation prior to attending the interview. And this is what we address ourselves to today. So, whether you're a student at school needing to learn how to attend a job interview, freshly out of school, college, or university, you have applied for jobs speculatively and you're waiting to be invited, whether you are already working and are scheduled for a promotional interview, whether you're a teacher, a parent, and so many other people, this program today is for you. Keep interested. I promise that we shall find it fulfilling. Forgive the hyperbole when I call this a compendium, and oh, I have a love for big words. But what I mean is this, that in this first episode and the others that will follow, I shall discuss all that needs to be done in order to ensure that one becomes easily employable. Call it career coaching, and that is exactly what it is. Before I go any further, let me say that I would love it for you to like this channel and don't stop there. Subscribe to the channel so that you will be notified of our future programs. As I've already said, the next one will be looking at the questions asked during interviews, the common ones, and advice on ways how you can approach that. For today, we are going to look on what you need to do before, during, and after an interview. So it's an easy formula to follow: before, during, and after. So keep interested, watch that right up to the end, and I promise you that you will come out better, ready to face what many people consider to be a formidable task: attending and passing a job interview. So away, and here we go. Before the interview, the first thing I would say here is that this is the time to carry out a research about the company, the organization, or the firm. And don't leave it at that. If possible, also carry out a research on the interviewers, those who will be in the interviewing panel, if you know, and it's easy to find out. So you can go to the company's website. You can read the newspapers in which they are attributed to that company or organization, newspaper articles or their press releases, feature articles about them. Or you can even these days go to the social media accounts and find the much you can about the company. Let me tell you, there is nothing that can boost your confidence better than carrying out that research prior to attending that job interview. Number 2, I would ask you to recruit a friend, a relative, and carry out a mock interview. Precisely, you will pick the most common questions you expect to be asked. And as I said, there will be further help in the following episode. and then come up with the answers, and then say them loudly to somebody who is listening to you, and then have them discuss with you how they think you fared in answering that question. And normally they'll give you a very fair and sincere assessment. And with that, now you can walk into the examination, into the interview room, exuding confidence because you know precisely what you're going to say. Number 3, inform your referees that you have been invited to attend a job interview. You have been shortlisted and invited. Let them know the day that you will be attending. Not only that, your prayers. Let them know of your prayer, that they will be able to communicate your best attributes. Remember, if you have watched earlier program, when we said when you're making your CV, you will always give 2 or 3 names of referees. And don't stop there. Prepare a list of the names of those referees, in which you will include their names, the company they work for, the position that they hold, their address, their email address, their phone contact. So list 1, 2, 3, make that list with all that details about each one of the referee. Then make 5 to 6 copies of it. And the important thing here is that you may be required to talk about your referees. So also have details about that. Describe who they are to you, the relationship between you and them. And then maybe if they require that, you can distribute that list of referees to the interviewers. Number 5, prepare questions to ask your interviewers. Because most likely this is what will happen. Once they are done interviewing you, they will ask you any question. Now, don't sit there blank or shaking your head and then say, no question. That's a damn thing to do. The right thing to do is to prepare questions. Good questions, not weak and flippant questions. Good questions to ask them. Because the reason they ask you whether you have any question is they want to see how seriously you consider their company and the job that you are applying for. So take time and prepare those questions to ask them. Remember to pack the original copies of your CV or resume, your certificates, and all the other testimonials that you enclosed in your cover letter as you applied for the job, that job application letter. Have the original copies with you. Then carry your documents in a bag or portfolio that is easy to hold and can easily contain all those documents. What you must not do, or what you must avoid, is being seen to be rather encumbered or disorganized during the interview. So get a good bag, get a good portfolio, and pack them. These days, they are nice portfolios with transparent paper where you can arrange all your documents very nicely, and when required, you hand over to the interviewing panel. I would tell you one thing to avoid: don't go with complicated briefcases. Yeah, it's rather ostentatious, and sometimes it might turn out bad for you. You are there and you are unable to open it, and you're there struggling with it, almost ripping it apart. It's not a very good show. Worst of all, don't go and borrow that briefcase. I know a story, I've had a story of somebody who went and borrowed, and then that briefcase had not been used for a long time. He struggled opening it, and when he did, it is cockroaches that jumped out. Don't let such a folly come your way. Yeah? As you make your way to the interview, take a notebook and a pen with you. You will use these to take notes during the interview. These notes will be a very useful follow-up, and we'll be talking about this later on. What you must avoid: don't take notes on your smartphone, tablet, or laptop, or any other electronic device for that matter. Don't take that. I know this seems strange, especially when we consider how ubiquitous these devices have become. But the thing is, I think it's rather conduct unbecoming to do that during the interview. And the interviewers may not be sure whether you are checking the updates on your social media or you are taking notes. So take a notebook and a pen. Prepare the attire you are going to be in the night before. Here, I mean the dress that you're going to be in, or the clothes you will be in. Here, let me say this. Anybody who prospectively expects to attend an interview should keep what I would refer to a capsule. That's what it is known, a capsule wardrobe. And this has some neat, smart clothing that you can be in as you attend that interview. Let me start with men. Your capsule wardrobe should consist of this. One, a long-sleeved shirt. And let that shirt be either white, brilliant white is beautiful, or light blue, sky blue, azure blue, like this one of mine. One color, not checked, maridadi of a flowery, no. And then also have a tie that will go along with that. A coat, or maybe if you cannot afford a coat, a nice sweater will do. And then make sure you have a neat pair of trousers. And the pair of trousers better be either black, navy blue, or gray. Don't go attend that interview in a maroon or green trouser or red. No, it's rather outrageous. Don't do that. Then also have a pair of leather shoes. And it would be good to match your shoes with your belt. So if you have a black belt or black pair of shoes, have a black belt. If brown, brown. So match that. For ladies, what I will advise is this. Do not appear in the interview in a rather florid dress, a dress that seems to attract more attention than yourself. Or again, skin tight. It is too tight on your body and shows your whole body profile. This is not the time to do that. Or worst of all, don't attend that interview skimpily dressed. A dress that shows so much flesh, so much skin. That is not good. Don't do it. I would also advise about high heels. High heels may not be appropriate. Have shoes that you're comfortable in, because it's possible to trip on your way into the room or your way out of it. You trip and fall, and that can be embarrassing. So I would advise against high-heeled shoes. Yeah, ladies, don't let that happen. And then about makeup for ladies, I think it is the time to avoid too much makeup. Don't apply a lot of makeup, a lot of mascara, a lot of, on your face. And I think I can say confidently, this is not the time to have those additional nails. Don't do them. Or those eyelashes, added eyelashes. Honestly, they do make somebody look like a wizard preparing for a midnight altar, not really going for an interview. And for all in general, the thing is that prepare to make a strong impression. Therefore, personal hygiene must be observed. Take a bath that day. Needless to say, but I think let me mention it just in case somebody overlooks this and you have yourself very uncomfortable during the interview. Yeah, take a bath, brush your teeth, comb your hair. About hair, I can say this. No matter what fashion statement you want to make, this is not the time to go with your hair long and unkempt. And I know for the young people presently, it's a kind of a fashionable thing to do. This is not the time for that. Don't do that. Don't appear in that way. Comb your hair precisely. If not, go to the barber and have it trimmed nicely. Yeah? Shine your shoes, cut your nails, check your clothes for creases, stains, loose threads. I guess oh, and look at me. I am preaching what I do not practice. Look at that. Ah, a piece of thread that remains on. So, oh, look at that. Look at that. I've just seen it. I've just seen it as soon as I mentioned that. So check for this thing. The important thing is to note that it can happen. It can happen. You can have such loose threads and they don't make a very good impression, and all those creases, stains, and all that. So the idea here is that you must be sharp. You must appear sharp as you attend that interview, the sharpest you can be. Then, on the day of the interview, arrive at the venue with 10 to 15 minutes to spare. Arrive early. Then use this extra time to observe how everybody carries themselves around that place. Are they nimble and quick and sprightly as they go from one place to the other? Or are they rather lethargic and dragging themselves, around the compound? So check the dynamics, how people relate with each other. And it's very easy to pick the dynamics that are there. You might find that some of that information will be useful for you during the interview or thereafter, after you have been appointed or given the job opportunity, right? Now we get to the crux of the matter. During the interview, what you needs must do. As soon as you are ushered into the room, be observant and be the first to offer greetings. But you will have observed, especially the gender composition of the interviewing panel or the interviewers, and then greet appropriately. Don't appear confused. Maybe there is no woman and you're there, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah? Or there's only one lady and you're saying, ladies. Yeah? Instead of lady and gentlemen, or whatever the case might be. Be observant. That is the first point. Yeah? Let the interviewers be the first one to initiate a handshake, not you. Not you. And should they do, as you greet each one of them, look them into the eyes, listen to what they say in greeting, and then respond to that. Don't mumble things that are meaningless. And then the handshake should be firm. Should be firm. Not that tenacious grip that crushes the fingers of the others. Or again, a limp greeting with the tip of your fingers. Not appropriate. Do not take a seat until you are invited to. And when that is done, say thank you, then sit down. And of course, this is not the time to slouch on that or to sit there with your legs crossed over. No. Sit upright with your shoulders up and your hands on your laps. That is the right thing to do. Then display confident body posture and a charming countenance. And this should be done throughout the interview. By the way, there's a lot that your body says. So be conscious of that. There's a lot that the tone of your voice says. And then, of course, the words that come out. So those three components are very important. Body posture, the tone, and the words that you use. Then it is good to maintain eye contact, especially with each person as you address them. It is not taken kindly or as being proper for you to address somebody looking away or looking down or looking up. It is not right. Maintain maintain eye contact. And then remember to smile the much you can during the interview. Well, I've had advice given smile throughout, but I think that is mechanical. It's too mechanical, all the time you're there. No, but smile the much you can. If they crack a joke, smile. If yourself you crack a joke, you can smile at that. Be the first one to smile at your own joke. If the panel is not addressing you, maybe they are consulting. Take this time to take deep breaths and then exhale slowly. Deep breath and then slowly. Of course, not in a way that they can see what you're doing. It can be done without them noticing what you're doing. And this one helps you to control your breath, to keep out those butterflies in the stomach that you would feel. And then it removes anxiety. Yeah? And somehow boosts your self-confidence. Breath control, most important. If offered drinks, take water. Avoid alcohol or hot beverages. Taking water is of great advantage to you. It is advantageous. It not only refreshes, but it allows you more time to think. Look at it this way. If a panelist asks you a fiendish question, a tough question that you think is difficult to answer, just reach out for your bottle or your glass of water and then take a sip and in a very controlled manner, place it back. That gives you time to think. Hot beverages, of course, will leave you stimulated and maybe you start sweating inside there. Alcohol, let's not even go there. We'll not go there. Be honest and remain positive throughout. If you do this, the atmosphere in the interviewing room becomes light and constructive. Do not take this time to embellish your accomplishments, to show what great, larger than life a person you are. No, those details, leave them out if they are not necessary. Again, no matter what the invitation is for you to feel relaxed and feel at home and feel yourself as amongst, do not get overly familiar with the interviewing panel. Doing so with the people who hold the stake, people who almost hold your fate in their hands, is not right thing to do. Throughout the interview, focus on your background, your achievements, your skills, your competencies that you hold. And then try to prove to the interviewing panel how all this makes you uniquely qualified for the position that you applied for. So keep your answers focused and don't ramble on and on and on. Provide examples that show when in the past, in your workplace, you faced a problem. There was a situation, a task that you had been given, but a problem arose. And then there's the action that you took. And then what are the results? That is a simple formula. When you think, what do I say during this interview? Some of the things I can say: problem, action, results. Nice formula. PAR, if you remember that. Then do not speak negatively of your current or former employers. Don't. If asked a question, try to think of the more positive things that, or maybe an experience that would have turned out bad, but it turned out to your advantage. Something that you noted going wrong and you helped set it right. That is the thing to do. Don't talk negatively, because simply employers do not generally like grumpy, grouchy, grumbling personnel who are not ready to take responsibility for their own actions, but are rather hell-bent on finding somebody to blame. a blame game, placing blame on other people. Now, of course, it must have an end. So we have come to the penultimate steps. We are at the end. When you're told that the interview is over, thank the panelists and tell them that it was good making acquaintance with each one of them, and possibly that it was a learning experience for you. If you can, and time allows, say one or two things that you learned during that interview. Then remember to ask for the originals of your documents if you had handed them in. These are very important documents for you. And should you leave the room without them, that reveals you as a rather reckless person. As a matter of fact, some interviewers will do that deliberately. They will hold on to them just to see how you will react to that. So don't fall into that trap. Remember to ask for them, and of course, politely. On the same breath, politely ask them how soon you expect to hear from them, or how long their recruitment process takes. How long will it take for them to complete? This is a way of showing interest in the job and the company that you're working for. And then, should you know the date you expect to hear from them, this will come in handy in something else I'll be mentioning in a short while now. You can even go a little bit further and boldly ask for the business card from each of the member of the interviewing panel before leaving the room. Then, when you get home, pen a personalized letter to each one of them. You remember those notes that I told you be taking during the interview, and nobody will ask you for that? You'll be noting what each one of them, something about each one of them. And then you can write a line or two, something nice about each one of them. So immediately you leave, the next day if possible, either by email or by post, your letters arrive there, thanking each one of them with that, in that personalized letter. And that is very important. Again, when the date arrives, when the date they had told you that you expect to hear, write again that letter or that email and tell them how anxious you are to hear from them. Let me tell you, you might be the only one doing these last things that I'm mentioning. And this means that you're giving yourself the best chance for getting that job. Look at it this way. Most likely, they will have interviewed many people with qualifications similar to yours, or even in some cases better. And then in their scoring, maybe all of you have scored equally. You have the same number of marks. These last actions that I've mentioned here can make you stand out. Or they can look at you favorably because in any case, you have done these things. So take care, take time, and do that. There we are at the end of this episode. Be on the lookout for the next, which I shall talk about the common questions asked during interview and advice on the best way you can answer them. So, just to remind you, like this episode, subscribe so that you'll be getting notified of all future episodes. Bye bye for now. God bless.